So hey you guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be showing you all how I install a crocheted hairstyle. So the technique that I'm going to be using to do the braids is called the invisible crochet technique. I'm sure that you've seen tons of videos all over YouTube. It's actually fairly new like within the last year or so. That is a braiding pattern I'm going to use to install my crochet, so it gives me that invisible like individual installation, but not really, but it's really crochet look. The hair I'm going to be using I actually purchased from Amazon, but they're like these boho braids. I'll be sure to provide the link to that product on Amazon right here, as well as include that link to the product on Amazon in the description link below, so make sure you check that out below. So the hair that I purchased, I'm assuming it came from China because it took 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks or so since I ordered it. But the hair looks like this, straight out of the pack. So as you can see, they're individual braids, but they have this curly hair sticking out of it to give you that boho feel, like that. So each pack comes with 16 individual strands of hair, of crocheted hair. So 8 times 16 is what? There you go. That's the answer right there. The price is pretty good. Like, I think I'm gonna spend like 35, 36 bucks, and the shipping's already included. So I think that was a steal. So unfortunately, this hair smells really bad. It smells like a factory. I don't know what it smells like, but it stinks, and I'm not going to put this in my hair just the way it is. So I'm actually gonna wash it and give it a rinse to remove some of that smell, to then proceed to install the crocheted hair. Before we get started with this tutorial, if you're not subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button now and give this video a thumbs up if you like it, which I know you will. So let's get this thing started. I have a large bowl here with some water inside, but what I'm gonna do is I have some good old white vinegar. I'm gonna put a little bit of that in there. It has a light vinegar smell, but not too overbearing. All I'm gonna do is add my hair to it and let it sit in there. Give it a shake. So I decided to grab some of my Aussie Moist conditioner so I can add to the bundles of hair. So I'm gonna just take a couple, like 2 pumps of conditioner in there, mix it all in. So I'm gonna take this bundle and then rinse it off. And this is what it's looking like afterwards. I try not to tussle it too much, but that's what it's looking like so far. So I'm just gonna put this aside and then rinse off the rest of them. Grab my one bundle and so my hair is already blown out, and all I did was just put my hair in these really large braids to keep them stretched. If you are not new to my channel, then you know I like to work in sections. So what I'm gonna do is actually undo these braids and straighten up this section in the front, because what I want to do is just focus the invisible method just in the front half of my head and just to continue regular cornrows in the back. So hey you guys, it's actually the next day, and as you can see I have the first half of my head completed. The reason why I did this off camera is because I was playing around with the technique, trying to determine which one I liked better. And so I determined that I don't really like what I was doing originally, which is taking the first braid and then adding it as a third strand into the second one, into the second braid, if that makes sense. What I'm going to do now, because I feel like it turned out much flatter, especially when it came to this braid here, which was a little thicker. What I'm going to do now is just still create the individual boxes, but just continue it back like a cornrow, so there's not really it being separated. I know I'm not making any sense, but I just wanted to explain that before I move forward into showing you what I'm doing. I still have my conditioning gel on the side, my white tooth comb. So what I'm going to do now is just separate out the next section. So I have my section out. So as before, I'm gonna apply my conditioning gel. I went ahead and created my 3 parts. So I'm gonna actually pull this back so that it doesn't get caught up in the first one. I'm going to braid this first braid as normal, right? All right, so I've got like just an inch braided, right? Okay, now for the second braid. You know, as before, I was just combining this and braiding it, but I don't like that look. So what I'm gonna do is just make sure that I just continue this existing braid into the second one. And to make sure that's easier, I'm going to split this into 3. The second braid into 3 smaller sections, and then combine those 3 individual strands with the 3 individual strands that I had from the very first braid. Then I'm gonna match it up with 1 strand here, 1 strand, 3 strands. So it's just a continuation, as you can see. And there you have it. It's connected to the second one, but it's just flatter. So I'm gonna do the same thing with the third braid. With my third braid, split it into 3 sections, 3 smaller strands, or like that, like so. Gonna take my 3 strands that I got from my second braid. You may have to undo it a little bit just so that you're not too far, like you're exactly where the third strand begins, and you can just pick it up. So I'm just going to continue this for the rest of this section of hair. And so as I've been going, I got 2 braids here, 3 braids, 3 braids, then it's 4, then it's 5. And that's how I've been doing it. Just been doing it based on how many braids, if I were doing this individually, I would fit into a section. I am finally done with the stitch looking / and illusion braids in the front half of my head. What I went ahead and did is section out the first piece of hair that goes from here, and it goes all the way back here, and that's going to be my first braid. That way, if I want to put my hair in a ponytail, it'll kind of cover the braids up here. The end of each braid, I'm going to feed it into the next cornrow so that it's all one continuous braid, and in the very end of the braid I will crochet it through. Slide my crochet needle in the center of my braid. Make sure that I'm hooking the hair through this loop. Once it's on the loop, close the latch hook, pull it through my hair. Reopen that latch hook again, hook a piece of the hair through, close the latch, slip it through the pre-made loop. Alright you guys, so I am done with installing all of these crochet braids, and it is nice and full. And I actually, even with my big old head, have one package of hair left untouched. But this is what my hair is looking like with 7 packs of hair. Before I do a final look of what it looks like, I actually want to cut this and make it an even length. I have, especially like in the back, there's some shorter pieces and I'm like, I want to make them even. I'm gonna grab a towel since I'm wearing a black shirt and you can't really tell what I'm doing. Okay, so I have all the hair forward, so I'm just gonna cut it. I think I'm gonna cut it to about right there because I want it to be like one length. I'm finally done with cutting my hair. Had to switch up the look so that I can give you a full look with this new do. But yeah, this is what my hair looks like. So before I continue rambling on, let me just give you an overview. This is it. I'm liking this crochet. Like, I love this crochet braid pattern. Like, look at my hairline. You cannot tell me if you saw me that you don't think that this is actually braided into my scalp. You can't tell. Look at this. Like, I ain't trying to look up close, not look up too close, but look, like, overall look at this. Look at these edges. You cannot tell me you would not think my hair is not braided. This could have took me 2 hours to do. The crocheting part took me maybe an hour tops, only because it took me the longest in the back, feeling for gaps. I could do this probably 3 hours tops. This hairstyle is actually inspired by another YouTuber whose video that I saw, and I was like, yep, that's what I'm gonna do. And I'll make sure to link her channel down below. But she is the reason and the inspiration for this look, and I was just so happy that I was able to replicate it. The only thing that I did differently this time around is that I did the invisible crochet method, whereas in her video, she just did regular cornrows going straight back. But I love this so much. I did go back from the previous clip to cut off some more because I wanted it to have as an even of a look as possible. So if you're going to replicate this style yourself, here are my tips for you. First of all, decide how many rows you need to do across, because that will determine literally how your hair is going to look overall. If you do this yourself, you can do between 8 and 10 rows. I think 10 if you have a really large head like mine. I think standard is 8 will be just fine. Tip number 2, when you are braiding your hair, for the love of God, do not braid your hair so tight to the scalp, because you need to give yourself a little bit of room so that you're able to fit the crochet needle through and loop the hair through. And my third tip, like I showed you earlier in the video, when you are connecting the braids together, this is my actual hair, but I was just continuing the first braid into the second. It made the braids flatter. I hope that makes sense. If not, just reference back to my, early in this video until you can see that technique. But those are my 3 tips that I will do differently moving forward and doing this process all over again. If you like this video, make sure you give this video a thumbs up, like it, share it, subscribe if you are not subscribed, because I definitely have more crochet hairstyles coming your way. This is just the beginning, y'all. So as always, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.